Cunningham Fountain in Chicago, Illinois, on a gorgeous September Sunday afternoon. And here we are at Wrigley Field. The Pirates and the Chicago Cubs, game 3 of a 3-game series. The Pirates looking for a sweep on the road. Take a look at the National League Central and wild card standings. Pirates find themselves 4.5 out behind the Cardinals, just a half game behind the Brewers, and a half game out in the wild card picture. Hi again, everyone, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Makowski is with us also. Andrew McCutchen heating up. 3 hits yesterday, 3 big hits, and it's a good time for Cutch to start getting hot again.
Yeah, ever since he came off the DL with that side injury, not sure he was 100%, was only hitting .240 going into that second game, but he got the base hit down the line, a big RBI single, adding insurance in the 7th inning, added another base hit later. Certainly a guy that we've seen carry a club. Gets extremely hot. We score a lot more runs when Andrew's hot. Hopefully he's closer and closer to being 100%. We'll start seeing him drive balls into the gaps and out of the ballpark.
McCutchen back in the middle of the lineup today, but not at the top of the order. Josh Harrison, he is out. He is the subject of our Allegheny Health Network injury update. The 11th inning of Game 1 yesterday did that. Tweaked his left ankle. So left ankle discomfort, the word on Josh Harrison. Not in the lineup today. Not sure if he will be available for today's game. So the Pirates and the Cubs getting set to wrap up their series here at Wrigley Field. And Wrigley Field has sort of been a home away from home for the Pirates this year.
Yeah, the Cubs are in last place in the Central. The Pirates have taken care of business against the cellar dwellers. They've won each of the first 5 series, 11-4 overall. They've scored a bunch of runs here, almost 5 per game. 4 games left. Hopefully we get this sweep today. We've struggled in getaway games on Sunday. Hopefully get the sweep, play them 3 more times at home. You take care of business, you climb up those standings in the wild card and in the Central.
The Bucs looking for their 12th win against the Cubs this season. The man on the mound who hopes to get it for him is the strong-armed right-hander from California, Garrett Cole. Cole in the Windy City, hoping to induce some swings and misses from the aggressive Cubs hitters. We'll look at Cole next. Afternoon start against the Cubs. He's 3-0 against them lifetime. you take a look at what the Pirates starters have done since Cole has returned to the rotation August 20th, 15 games. The team record 9-6. The starters are 5-3. The ERA is 2.75. And John, with Garrett Cole coming back to the rotation since the 20th of August, he's been good. What does it mean to have him in that rotation?
Well, he's a future ace, if not the ace. You saw last year the big games that he pitched, the important games, including Game 5 of the division series against the Cardinals. And, I think he lifts everybody up. It makes the rotation a lot stronger. You expect he has a bad taste in his mouth, the way his outing was Monday against the Cardinals. He's kind of struggled there towards the end, so he wants to get back out there and finish this sweep. The Pirates, again, have not done well in Sunday day games before you go on a road trip, and so good numbers against the Cubs, a 3.0284. He wants to improve on those today.
Garrett Cole sat down with our Robbie Inchmakowski.
Well, Garrett Cole hanging out the friendly confines. Garrett, when you look at how you feel this September versus last September, where would you say you stand in regards to putting together a performance like you did last season?
I mean, I just hope I'm able to go out there and, give us a good chance to win. I feel good physically, and, I've learned some things over the last couple starts and hoping to try to, implement them in this next one.
Can you elaborate on that? What types of things did you learn in the last couple starts?
I got in trouble with a couple sequences late the last couple times, and, and it's sometimes not necessarily about the sequences. Sometimes it's just about making better pitches. And so, just staying focused throughout the whole game and, trying to finish it.
We talked to Vance Worley about facing a young club that you really don't know much about. What do you expect to see from their hitters, the young, Soler, Baez, and those guys?
A lot of swings, a lot of aggressive swings. They're definitely going to try to drive the ball out of the park. They're dangerous. They've been hot right now, too. So, paying attention to these games, is important, and we'll talk amongst each other and hopefully have a game plan.
How does that alter a game plan when you get guys that swing out of their shoes?
It just depends on what you're bringing out that day. If you can put stuff on the corners early, you're not going to have too much of a problem. But if you're fall behind in counts or not be able to put guys away with 2 strikes, they're going to give you some fits.
Pitching in 2 separate seasons, 2013, 2014, 2 pennant races. What's this experience like for you?
It's been unbelievable. I mean, I think just a tremendous opportunity. A guy like Adam Dunn, who's played for 14 years, hasn't had any postseason experience, and he goes to the A's, just to play some meaningful games in September and hopefully make it deep into the postseason. I've had that opportunity twice now, and hopefully we get to take advantage of it.
I really enjoyed our time together, Garrett. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Yeah. Guys.
Thank you, Robbie and Garrett. Our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat centers around the Pirates' bullpen since Cole has returned to the rotation. They haven't pitched that many innings, which is a good thing. In the ERA, just at 1.29. That is first since the 20th of August. And getting a good ground ball rate as well. Today, Garrett Cole against the Cubs, and the Cubs have a left-hander once again. 3rd straight game they've started a left-hander. It's Travis Wood, a guy who can hit a little bit, but he's also pitched well against the Pirates.
Yes, he has, but not having the greatest of years. Last year his ERA was just over 3. You see this year, 8-11, a 4.81 ERA. His last outing didn't go 5 innings. His first half, again, around a 5 ERA. And this is a guy's sneaky quick fastball. His secondary pitches have been getting hit a little bit harder, and not the same Wood that the Pirates have seen. So despite his decent numbers against the Pirates, I think he's good to be had.
Travis Wood gets the start for the Cubs this afternoon. He will face Garrett Cole. Beautiful day in Chicago here at Wrigley Field. Pirates going for the series sweep. When we come back to Wrigley, we'll take a peek at the playoff picture. That's next. Field in Chicago. Fans anticipating the start of this one as the Pirates and Cubs get set for the third and final game of this three-game series. And it's time once again, John, where you give us the tips to win. It's Sunday. It's a football Sunday, too.
Yeah, the first NFL Sunday, so I figured we'll do the football theme. Watch the flags. At Wrigley, everybody's looking at the flags. If the flags are blowing in, go to the ground game, as Andrew McCutcheon did with the big RBI base hit yesterday. If the winds are blowing out, go deep, as Jordy Mercer did, as the flags laid limp last night. And hopefully the Bucs will be able to continue to score runs against these Cubs and shut down the Cubs. The steel curtain yesterday, no runs scored by the Cubs. The completion of the first game and the entire second game, the Bucs able to throw the leather and keep these Cubs down and swinging and missing for a good bit of that day yesterday. And 3 and out. The Pirates looking for a sweep. It would be a huge 3-game sweep, especially after losing 3 to St. Louis. You come and you even out your record for the road trip with 4 big games in Philly.
John, you get an extra point for your theme today. Thank you very much. All right, let's send you back to Pittsburgh right now. Paul Alexander is standing by with his game break. He'll take a look at the playoff picture.
It's baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
Back here at Wrigley Field, not a cloud in the sky. The Pirates and the Cubs are ready for their final game here. Still have 3 more to go against one another in Pittsburgh coming up, but Bucko is looking for a road sweep. They're wearing their road grays today. Look at the schedule. You talk about strength of schedule, Rock. You were talking about football earlier. Strength of schedule. National League remaining games. Pirates right there behind the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Still with Atlanta to go. 3 more against the Cubs, 3 more against the Brewers. They've got the Red Sox coming in, and then 3 more against Cincinnati as well. And Philadelphia for the next 4. Right after this one today, the Bucks will jet off to Philly right after this game is complete and start a 4-game series with the Phillies. But it's the Cubs today, and here's the Pirates lineup. It is brought to you by Toyota. Leading off, Starling Marte. Jordy Mercer in the 2 spot. 4 home runs at Wrigley Field. He hit his 4th in the game yesterday. 7 RBIs in 16 games here. Andrew McCutchen batting 3rd. Walker back in the cleanup spot. Russell Martin batting 5th. Jose Tabata out in right field, and Gabby Sanchez at 1st. Brent Morel plays 3rd. Garrett Cole pitching and batting 9th. And facing the Cubs left-hander Travis Wood.
Travis Wood, not a great season. 8-11, a 4.81. The ERA almost 2 runs higher than a year ago, but he still could be tough. He's, again, has a deceptive fastball, throws a lot of cutters, will mix in an occasional slider, changeup, or curveball. Over those last 14 starts, just 1 win, 6 losses, 7 no decisions.
Garrett Cole, 3-0 against the Cubs this year. Makes his 4th start against Chicago. Pirates will be relying on him to come up with a good performance today. Defensively for the Cubs, behind Travis Wood, Chris Coughlin in left field. Arismendi Alcantara's in center. Ryan Kalish is in right. Valbuena back at 3rd base. Baez at short. Watkins and Olt on the right side of the infield with Castillo catching Wood. Wellington Castillo had to miss a game due to a sore back, but he was back and started the 2nd game of the series yesterday. Clint Hurdle's team 73-68, 11-4 against the Cubs this season. The Pirates 6-2 at Wrigley Field. Rick Renteria in his first season with the Cubs. And now understanding that they're in a developmental mode of the season for Chicago. Starling Marte, 6-game hitting streak, leads things off for the Pirates today. First pitch of the ball game. Missed inside for ball 1.
Pirates looking for a win on a Sunday getaway day. Winless in August on Sundays.
We'll change that here in September. And Marte pops this one up left side. Baez shading the sun with his glove. He hasn't moved. Now he'll barely move and make the catch. A little mustard on the hot dog in the first play of the game.
Yeah, well, saw a little bit of that yesterday too. Cost him an error.
Jeff Kellogg is the crew chief. DJ Rayburn has missed 2 games due to illness. He's back today. Brian O'Nora's at 2nd. Dan Bellino at 3rd base. Rayburn had to pull out of the first game on Friday. They went with 3 umpires. So the game was suspended and then finished up yesterday. An umpire named Chad Whitten came in to fill in yesterday. So there were 4 umpires yesterday. Nothing in 1 to Jordy Mercer. Jordy takes a strike and it's 0-2. Jordy drove in what would prove to be the game-winning run in the first inning yesterday. Driving another for good measure in the 9th with a home run to left. 0-2 tapped over the mound, and here's Baez throwing on first. 2 down for the Pirates in the first inning.
Wood in the strike zone. 2 quick outs. Pirates individually don't have the greatest numbers against Travis Wood. Even Andrew McCutchen just 5 for 25 in his career against the lefty.
He had 3 hits in the regularly scheduled game yesterday, including a run batted in. 3 singles for McCutchen, average back to 305. Ball 1. 1-0 to Kutch. 352 lifetime at Wrigley Field. In this ballpark, he was 58 for 165 with 7 doubles, 2 triples, 5 home runs, and 23 runs batted in. There's only one player with a higher batting average at Wrigley Field. That's Ryan Braun of the Brewers. 358 here. And Kutch with another base hit. 2-out single. Off to a good start today.
Good to see Andrew McCutchen heating up. See the pitch here, just a 2-seamer it looked like down and away. Good location from Wood. Better swing and execution from Andrew McCutchen.
Kutch aboard, 2 down, and Walker batting cleanup. Switch hitter batting right-handed against Travis Wood. 275 average for Walker. Strike 1. Caught Wellington Castillo on a foul tip. They had a double in the second game yesterday. Had a double in the first game too in the 11th inning to get things going. Ended up scoring the go-ahead run in the 11th. Got away and McCutchen stayed put.
Probably didn't get a good read on it, but that ball far enough away for Andrew to advance. Hard to tell if that ball maybe got lost behind Neil Walker.
1-1 pitch. And Walker hammers this one to left field. Pretty deep. Coghlan going back. He looks up. It is gone. A home run for Neil Walker. And the Pirates have a 2-0 lead. His second home run right-handed, his 19th of the season. He's tied Bill Mazeroski for the most number of home runs by a second baseman in a single season. Maz did it in 1958. Neil does it in 2014.
And that's a bomb, too. Wind is blowing in a little bit, so thought we might have to go to the ground game, but Neil Walker drops back, goes deep. A towering fly ball. You wondered if that little breeze was going to keep it in the ballpark. High towering shot, and then it kind of juts out right where this ball lands, where it gets a little bit deeper out there and left. But Neil Walker, enough power to put the Pirates up 2.
Russell Martin stands in. Takes ball 1. RBI is 62 and 63 for Walker.
He knows he hits it pretty good, but he's not certain if it had enough carry.
Normally, Clint Hurdle will not have him against a left-hander batting the cleanup spot, but he has the last 2 games, and it's paid off.
Yes, it has. He loves the drive-in runs, Neil Walker.
Travis Wood's reaction to the long ball. 18th home run he has given up this year. So Martin takes ball 4 to unlock. That's with a man aboard. Now Jose Tabata will come up next.
I'm sure Wood would like to get out of this inning quickly. See, righty's hitting a much better 14 home runs, an all right-handed lineup. But Wood at times has trouble with the pitch count. And after 2 quick outs, he's done a lot of pitches.
Tampa takes outside. Ball 1. Jose hitting .288 to start action today. Still looking for his first home run. He's not had one at the major league level or in the minors this year. Not hit the ball over the fence yet. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wood 5-6 against the Pirates in 12 prior starts, 13 prior appearances. And 1 relief appearance against the Bucks. .343 earned run average against Pittsburgh. Third of 3 straight left-handers to start against the Pirates in this series. 2-1, ground ball toward the middle. Baez is there and flip over to second. Neil Walker and Garrett Cole, a 2-run lead as Walker hits his 19th of the season. A new career high for Neil. Outs in the top of the first inning has given the Pirates a 2-0 lead. And take a look at the Cubs starting lineup, brought to you by Honda. Arismendi Alcantara will lead off. Javier Baez batting in the 2 spot. Chris Coghlan in the 3 spot. Last 6 games for the Cubs. He's hitting .409 with a double and 2 runs batted in. Valbuena cleaning up. Wellington Castillo bats 5th. Ryan Kalish gets the start today in right. Mike Old back at first base. Logan Watkins at second, hitting 8th. And the pitcher, Travis Wood, will bat 9th against Pirates right-hander Garrett Cole.
Garrett, I'm sure, has looked forward to this start. They pitched well the first 5 innings against the Cardinals and ran into trouble late in the loss. Gave up 5 earned and 6 in the third, but I'm sure he's looking forward to this. 97 strikeouts, 105 innings. He's watched these Cubs aggressively go up there and take hacks, swing uncontrollably at times. It'll be interesting to see if Cole comes right at these guys or throws more breaking balls because of their free swinging nature.
Strike dealt to the switch hitter, Arismendi Alcantara. He's played center field and second base in this series, playing center field again today. Just 210. And he pops this one up. Cody Mercer looking through that bright blue sky. Fights it off and makes the catch, and there's one gone. Cole, through the first 6 innings since coming back off the disabled list on the 20th of August, he's been very good in the first 6. But he gets 7th on, giving up a few runs.
Times, as a hitter, get more comfortable the more you face a certain pitcher. And sometimes it's just, you make a mistake later in the game and it's taken advantage of. It was the case with Wong. Colton Wong hit the big home run against Garrett.
Big swing in Javier Baez. Just 174. Baez has struck out 7 times during this series already. In 32 games, he has struck out 58 times.
That's amazing. Greg and I were talking about it yesterday. This guy, 2 months' time, has a chance of reaching 100 strikeouts.
Garrett Cole ahead of him, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he struck him out. Got him looking.
And he put a little extra on it. Usually you don't see the high 90s fastball until later in the game from Cole, but Point Park University strike zone shows that 98-mile-per-hour fastball catching a whole bunch of plate.
So Chris Coughlin now will face Garrett Cole. Pitch to Coughlin, the 3-hitter inside. One of the things about facing a team of free swingers, you have to adjust as a pitcher. You got to read the swings, adjust your game accordingly, right?
Yeah, and you have a catcher that helps in that regard with Russell Martin. Certainly will pay attention, and you can tell what guys are on and what they're likely to miss.
Clint was talking about it during his pregame meeting today with us about the fact that sometimes these Cubs hitters will take pitches, as we saw Baez just do. Well, that ball is a trampoline back over there. Good thing he moved. A ground ball towards second base. Walker goes on to first, and a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for Garrett Cole. Pirates up 2-0 heading to the second. Season of McDonald's high school football continues this week with a rare intra-conference matchup as one of the best teams in AAA, the Central Valley Warriors, takes on one of the best in Quad A, the Penn Hills Indians. The action kicks off this Friday at the Pirates postgame on Root Sports. A chance to see Central Valley's Jordan Whitehead, one of the most sought-after recruits in the state. He's got offers from schools like Alabama and Ohio State. Should be a good one Friday after Pirates postgame. 2-0. We go to the second inning. Pirates with the lead, and leading off, Gabby Sanchez facing Travis Wood. Pirates are now fourth among National League teams with 81 runs scored in the first inning. And 2 more on the Neil Walker home run. That was inside and low. Gabby with a .229 average. Another start at first base today. To face a right-hander tomorrow in Philadelphia. Kyle Kendrick off the lefty train for a while. Speaking of lefties, Francisco Liriano yesterday. Outstanding changeup, outstanding slider. Worked for him very well. 9 strikeouts over 6 innings. Didn't give up any runs on just 3 hits. Picked up his 4th win. His first win since late July, Rob.
Yeah, and looking better and better. Liriano being more aggressive with the fastball, getting ahead with it, and then
Gabby clubs one to left field. This ball back, and this ball is off the top of the wall. Gabby heading for second base. Throw offline. Gabby slides. He's safe. Oh, hustle double for Gabby Sanchez. Just missed. Hitting it over the basket for a home run, and he'll settle for a sliding double.
Yeah, Travis Wood, we've seen him in the past where this high fastball gets by the hitters. Gabby Sanchez, a very good high ball hitter. Look how high that pitch is out of the strike zone. About neck high, tomahawks it about 3 feet short of that basket. And fortunately, Gabby being aggressive, the throw offline. Get a better throw from Coughlin from left. Gabby would have been probably thrown out, but able to avoid the tag. Set up shop here in the second.
Brent Morrell will try to get him over or in. Takes the ball upstairs. Look at where this one hit. Just underneath the basket. Good slide to the inside of the bag, recognizing that Watkins was fielding the offline throw. For Brent Morrell, with Harrison out of the lineup, Morrell is going to see some time at third. He's got to try to make the most of this opportunity. He's hitting just 115. A situation with a man at second and nobody out. What's your approach here at the plate?
Batting eighth, pitcher behind you. You're not looking to give yourself up. You look to drive a ball, look to drive Gabby Sanchez in, especially when you're in a hitter's count like this, 2-0, 3-1. Maybe with 2 strikes. You try to stay inside one, hit it to the right side because Garrett Cole can handle the bat. Like his chances of putting the ball in play, but you're not going to give yourself up. You're not going to give them an out just to move the runner with the pitcher on deck.
2-0. Foul tipped into the glove of Castillo for a strike. Two and one to count. Change with Logan Watkins sneaking over there second base. And Morrell hits one well to center field. Alcantara back. Alcantara on the track and right in front of the ivy makes the catch. And advancing to third on the play is Gabby Sanchez.
And that's unfortunate for Brent Morrell. He does the job. He gets Gabby over, but he hit that ball pretty well, and again, just enough breeze in the ballpark to keep it from being a home run. He hits it, and you could tell by his reaction he thinks maybe he got enough of it straight away, but any kind of, if there's no breeze or if it's blowing out a little bit, it's well gone.
Infield will be drawn in. I was hoping that Bo would carry a little bit more. Garrett Cole a chance to add on for himself here. Cole is 7 out of 32. Likes to swing the bat. We have two pitchers in the game today that like to swing the bat. It's 1-0 to Cole.
Boy, the Cubs playing way in too with Gabby at third. I mean, they're way in on the grass.
Time is called.
Taking away a lot of range by playing so far in. Usually, with a guy that's not a burner at third, you can relax a few steps and give yourself a little more room to make a play.
Swing and a miss. 1-1. Cole looking for an RBI. Doesn't have one this year. At least not yet. This one's down the right field side. Will make the seats. Nice catch, young man. That's why you bring your glove.
Yeah.
He's got his hat on in honor of Derek Jeter Day, apparently. Now watch Cole get out of the box here. He's hustling down the line and hoping that ball was going to turn left instead of right.
He competes in the box as much as he competes on the mound.
2 fouled back.
Never forget that first big league at bat. Driving in 2 runs against Tim Lincecum. If I remember correctly, he fell behind the count too. I think he was 0-2. He worked the count full. Slapped the ball in the right center.
Fights it off. Stays alive. He also had an RBI in the postseason against the Cardinals off of Lance Lynn. Those things tend to get magnified too. Anything you do in the postseason.
Yeah.
Gabby Sanchez, a leadoff double. He's at third. And the 1-2 pitch is fouled back again. This one will make the roof. Waiting the 7th pitch from Travis Wood. Wood's thrown 34 pitches so far. There's a ball. 2-2. How tough is it to lay off a pitch, Rock, when you've had several swings and fouls in a row, and then that pitch comes down and in like that?
Well, if you're able to pick up the speed and spin, it's a lot of times some guys up there aren't seeing the ball so well, and they may struggle a little bit and not pick up the speed, pick up the ball out of the pitcher's hand.
Cole strikes out. Let's check in with Robbie.
Well, guys, you saw Gabby Sanchez slide into second base, and it's kind of been a bit of a hazard here in the last couple days. It was Starling Marte and Andrew McCutchen yesterday. As we get a look, it was actually Friday when Kutch did that. Kind of an awkward slide for Kutch and was tagged out. Same thing happened with Starling Marte. Almost identical in a sense. You see Marte's leg almost hit him in the head. Both guys go over the back. So I asked Marte about it. He just said the ground was a little bit wet when he was trying to slide. And you're talking about two guys who slid into second base hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of times in their lives, and neither of them have had a slide like that. And I asked Kutch about it, and he just said the ground was particularly soft. He said he doesn't know what made it soft, if it was wet or dry, but it was one of the softer dirt he's ever slid around second base in his life. And thankfully both guys were okay, and Marte obviously good enough this morning, Tim, in the clubhouse, to make a couple jokes about him almost kicking himself in the head.
And he hits a bullet into left field and drives in Sanchez. 3-0 Pirates. Starling Marte, a 2-out RBI single. All 3 Pirates runs so far have come with 2 men out.
Yeah, that's a clutch hit. You love the 2-out RBIs. After the leadoff double, you unable to get them in. But Marte continues to swing the bat well. Finds a hole, hits it hard. See, Marte and McCutchen, they don't have the size of a Sanchez to get through the soft dirt. Gabby Sanchez, that is, that dive to second base. Speed and size. The lighter guys hit and stick. Four-wheel drive.
Jordy Mercer hoping to step on the gas again. He hit one out last night with 10 home runs. Last Pirates shortstop to have double figures in home runs with Jack Wilson, who had 11 of them. 2007. So Jordy a chance to catch Jack.
Never know, Jordy, a consistent year. You can see 20. He has the pop. Good fastball hitter.
Go to first base and falling back to the bag is Marte. Considering what Mercer had done or didn't do in April, he'll be the first to tell you that he had a miserable month in the month of April. You take that away and look at what he's been able to do to build an average in the middle twos, 256. Double digits in home runs. He's pushing 50 RBIs. If he had just an average month in April,
yeah,
I don't know where he'd be. Better off.
The other thing is, RBIs. I mean, he had a great year with runners in scoring position last year.
He's off the outside pitch, 1-2.
This year, the average has dipped with runners in scoring position, but he has been at the plate. As you see the numbers climbing after April, a little dip here in September. He's had as many plate appearances.
Oh boy, he got it. Jordy got another one. This ball's gone. A 2-run home run for Jordy Mercer, his 11th, and the Pirates lead it 5-0.
Have a day. Bring out the bats. Have some fun. Enough of these close games. Break it open. Jordy Mercer. No doubter.
Through the receiving line he goes.
And this pitch, just a slider, and Wood knew it right away as soon as Mercer made contact.
Second home run by the Pirates so far this afternoon in as many innings. Walker had a 2-run shot in the first. Now Mercer a 2-run shot in the second.
Look at Wood.
He knew right away.
Yes, he did.
And McCutchen drives this one out of here. Back-to-back home runs for the Buccos. Home run number 22 for Andrew McCutchen. It's 6-0.
Boy, just the second inning. 2 field goals for the Bucks. And that was a no-doubter.
He's heating up. 2 for 2 today. They are hitting Wood hard.
Comes at him fastball. You can't throw middle to McCutchen.
Well, they say a lot of home runs are thrown. That one was thrown. McCutchen did the hitting. But Wood put that one right in the wheelhouse. This one upstairs to Walker. 3 home runs allowed today, the most since August 17th, 2012 against the Reds. Hurdle's going to like what he sees so far. How can you not?
Yeah. There hasn't been many stress-free games of late.
There's the 1-1 pitch to Walker. That pitches low. 2-1. A 4 spot in the second. Back-to-back home runs, Mercer and McCutchen. The 8th time the Pirates have gone back-to-back this season. Chase that one, 2-2. The Pirates have put a pretty good down payment today for Garrett Cole.
Yeah, you know, it's so much easier for a pitcher to go out there and not feel like there's great importance to every pitch he throws.
2-2 pitch to Walker. To the right side. That's fouled, out of play. Walker's collected at least 20 doubles and 10 home runs in each of the last 5 years now. And to put that in perspective, the only other second baseman in the majors to do it, Robinson Cano of the Mariners. So Neal is in elite company. Pops this one back and out of play.
Certainly that Neil Walker will end up 20+ homers.
31 pitches this inning for Travis Wood.
That had to feel good for Andrew.
2-2 to Walker. Neal foul tips it. Steele couldn't hang on. He'll get another pitch. I like it.
Explaining to Gabby, you could get some backspin. Backspin, the ball goes into the seats. Too much topspin, hits the wall.
Here comes the 2-2 to Walker from Wood. And Neal fouls it back. And he might have been talking about the area in front of second base where Gabby had to slide.
Well, that's the comeback for Gabby. Oh, yeah.
That's where McCutchen and Marte both blew tires yesterday.
Well, I didn't. And Gabby could say, well, I didn't get backspin. At least I can slide in the second.
Here comes the 2-2 once more to Walker. And Neal hits it on the ground left side. That's a base hit. Walker is 2 for 2. And the line continues to move here in the second inning against Travis Wood.
Keep it moving.
5th hit of the inning against Wood. Pirates have 7 hits in the game. 3 of those 7 have left the yard. So Martin will face Wood now.
I know Russell wants to join in on the fun. Wouldn't be surprised to see Russ take a big swing.
Phone ringing in the bullpen already. Cubs have 13 relievers in the bullpen.
Yeah, well, they're not worried about getting through the game, that's for sure. They've used a lot of them the first 2 games of this series.
Pitch to Russ is down low. Pirates have 22 home runs at Wrigley Field since the beginning of last year. That's the most among visiting teams. Well, the left-hander, Eric Jokic, is warming up. And Martin hits a base hit to center. First and second, 2 out. Jose Tabata will be the 9th man to hit this inning against Wood.
We'll have to wait a moment as pitching coach Chris Bosio has to come out, have a conversation. Give his other lefty some time in the bullpen to get loose.
Well, this is the 4th time this season that Travis Wood has allowed 6 or more runs in a game. And he's done it here in just an inning and 2/3. Bosio to find out if he's got it today. Meantime, Jokic continues to warm up. Jokic, one of 3 lefties down in the Cub bullpen. One and 2/3, 6 earned runs on 8 hits. That'll do a number to your ERA. Skies aren't so blue for the Cubs right now. Pirates looking to hit around as Tabata stands in, 2 on, 2 out. Looks that one low. Pirates have 5 straight hits this inning. 3rd time this year they've done that. Marte, Mercer, McCutchen, Walker, and Martin.
Tabata's numbers with runners in scoring position, 394.
Ball 1 strike to Jose. Travis Wood made the All-Star team this year, representing the Cubs. 1-1 in 3 prior starts against the Pirates. And he goes to right field. That's a base hit. 6 straight hits for the Buccos. Walker around third. Throw comes into second base. It is 7-0. An RBI single for Jose Tabata.
Keep it going. Have fun, boys. After the big hat, Jose swings, looks to pull the first time. He tried to. First time he got a good pitch from Wood to hit. This time, shorten it up, go the other way. Neil Walker going on contact with 2 outs. Leyva waving him all the way. And a very short afternoon for Travis Wood.
Just 1 2/3 innings for Wood. 7 earned runs on 9 hits. Pitching change with 2 outs in the second. Cole had to go down to the bullpen to warm up. It's been such a long half inning. The Pirates have had 6 straight hits with 2 outs, back-to-back home runs this inning. They have chased the starter, Travis Wood. And Wood gets the watch for the rest of the afternoon. Certainly not what he had in mind today, but the Pirates had other ideas. And now making his major league debut is Eric Jokic.
9-10, 3.58 ERA. Not bad strikeout total, 143 and 158 innings.
Jokic, 25 years of age. He's out of Virginia, Illinois. Jokic will throw his first big league pitch. 5 spot in the second inning for the Pirates. All the runs coming with 2 men out. First major league pitch for Jokic is a ball up high. Jokic pitch. Gabby swinging a miss.
Gabby up there taking the first pitch, got a fastball, timed it up, and Jokic Comes with a 1-0 changeup.
Gabby almost hit one through the left field wall his first time up. It was this inning. And he goes to right field. Ryan Kalish circling behind it. He'll make the catch. 10 men come to the plate. 5 of them score. And Jordy Mercer and Andrew McCutchen go back-to-back off Travis Wood. For Mercer, his 11th homer. For McCutchen, his 22nd. It's Free Shirt Friday this Friday as the Bucs host the Cubs at 7:05. The first 25,000 fans take home a McCutchen T-shirt thanks to California University of Pennsylvania. Plus, it's the block party on Federal Street before the game featuring local live music and an alumni appearance from Al Oliver. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. So, clutch is clutch. Home run number 22 for number 22. Home run number 11 for number 10. A 7-run lead for the Pirates. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch to Valbuena, his first time up. You look at where the Pirates are. The number 7 hitter in the order has hit twice already. And the cleanup hitter for the Cubs getting to the plate for the first time. Well, one pitch. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
What weird how baseball is, because I'm looking back at that second inning and you think, obviously awesome, the 2-out lightning and the long balls. When you think about the leadoff double by Gabby, a better throw probably throws him out, from Coggin. And that just goes to show you in terms of, how things can change dramatically in baseball. He had time to throw. If he's anywhere near the bag, the first out's recorded at second base, and then you have Morel Cole, possibly a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Yeah.
They don't make the play. You get the hustling double. You get the RBI by Marte, and then the floodgates open.
One, you say little thing, but don't make the mistake of saying that to the manager, Clint Hurdle, because he'll tell you there are no little things in baseball. They all matter. And Valbuena down on strike. Strikeout number 2 for Garrett Cole.
Cole after a long layoff. That's a long time. He throws the changeup in a perfect location. A pitch that Garrett Cole doesn't throw very often. Maybe a handful a game. And that's another weapon when you're throwing as hard as he does, and he has the hard slider, the curveball's improving. And then Had the changeup in the mix.
Catcher Wellington Castillo awaits Cole's 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Castillo had 1 hit and 3 trips in yesterday evening's game. Goes to right field, and Tabata is there to make the catch. Ball sunk on him at the last second. Well, he hangs on anyway, and there are 2 down.
Take the quick, easy out.
Ball had some spin. He was just saying, ball dove on him.
2-seam.
Castillo hit a sinker out there. Two down, and now the batter will be Ryan Kalish, the right fielder. Kalish hit a pinch hit single yesterday. Swing and a miss. Kalish made the opening day roster for the Cubs, and then in late May was sent down to AAA. Spent the rest of the year there. .95, foul tip, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Kalish. Just heat. 99 miles an hour. He struck him out on 3 pitches. 3 strikeouts through 2 innings for Garrett Cole.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Sonic and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
7-0 Pirates. We go to the top of the 3rd inning at Wrigley Field. Across the rooftops. Sunbathed today on this gorgeous day. Garrett Cole. I'd say he looks okay on the hill so far, Rock, wouldn't you?
Boy, I'd say just dominant through the first 2.
I'd say that Ryan Kalish might agree with you. So he struck him out on 3 pitches. The last one, 99 miles an hour. And you see that 120? That's a 120 on the clock. That's the time the Cubs start their games. Morel. Jokic can't find it. It's right next to him. Found it at the last moment. He throws out Morel. 1 down.
Morel with 2 hard hit balls. Nothing to show for it. This is just bad luck. Sends it just in time to flip it over to first base and retire Morel.
Jokic heart is racing enough, this being his major league debut, and then to get that sense that it's getting late in the play and you don't know where the baseball is. Probably had that sense of anxiety.
Yeah.
One out, Garrett Cole up. He struck out looking first time. He'll take a strike. It's a similar pitch that Wood threw him. It was the one that struck him out, that low strike. Garrett not happy with that. Letting Jeff Kellogg know. I'm happy with the strike zone there. And the breaking ball hit down the right field line, and that is foul. He kept slicing.
Staying back on the breaking ball.
Cole would like to win the Pirates pitcher's batting title.
I think he's pretty much
a lock anyway.
Lock
at this point. 1-2. Volquez and Liriano discussing hitting more than likely. Maybe not. Volquez only has one hit.
Well, that's been a bit of a struggle this year.
Keep saying the second one's coming. Hopefully this series against Philadelphia coming up a good one. Cole takes strike 3. Garrett stops back to the dugout.
He is not happy.
Well, he doesn't want to irritate Jeff Kellogg, being the opposing pitcher today. And since he's gone 6 up, 6 down in the first 2 innings.
He's thinking those pitches are low. They're right across the knees.
Starling Marte takes a strike. Still upset. He's going to have to flip that switch, put the glove on, and go back out and pitch.
I get the impression he likes pitching mad. Russ, the scouting report.
Chase one ball and 2 strikes.
I think he told Martin could change him.
Starling had an RBI single in the second. His 47th run batted in. Takes a pitch inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Marte and Mercer have been going back and forth here the last week or 2. Home runs and RBIs. They came in tied with 10 home runs, 46 RBIs.
Now they each have 47. Mercer, I beg your pardon, Jordy got him by 1. They got Marte wrong. Yep. So Jordy's got 48. Marte has 47.
And Mercer ahead by 1 in the home run department.
2-2. Rubber foul. Count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Marte facing Eric Jokic. Jokic in his major league debut coming out of the Cub bullpen to relieve Travis Wood, who gave up 7 earned runs on 9 hits in an inning and 2/3 today. I'm not that concerned. Three and 2 to Marte. In the minor leagues this year, Jokic went 9 and 10. 358 earned run average. As a starter, made 26 starts.
An opportunity here to show Rick Renteria and his staff what he has to offer. I'm sure. Well, you never know how long he'll pitch. I'm guessing that he'll get to go several innings. Looking at bat.
ask of Castillo, and to the backstop it goes. Give him a second to clear out the cobwebs here. Boom.
I think they'd rather get hit in the mask than on the helmet. Where they've got the top of the helmet.
Payoff pitch to Starling Marte from Jokic. In the air to right field, twisting toward the line. Kalish running after it. He'll not be able to make the catch. That's a fair ball. And into second base is Starling Marte.
He'll take it. He'll be credited with the double. As Kalish went into that slide, and that's where the wind helped you as a hitter. Helped Marte as a hitter. That ball just kept running away from him, and you could see his whole body's ahead of the ball. That's why I'm not a big fan of the slide all the time. And a better angle, probably catches it chest high.
Jordy Mercer takes a strike.
I don't see that play anymore like the old days where guys just bend over and catch it. They like to go into the slide, so Marte will take it.
23rd double. 2 for 3 this afternoon. Pirates with their first hit, and again it comes with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. And Mercer, a bouncer over the mound. Baez charging. Throws to get Mercer. Runs a hit, 1 man left. With 2.5 at Wrigley Field, it's the Pirates 7, Cubs nothing. All right, thank you very much, Paul. 7-0 here. Garrett Cole pitching to Mike Olt. And the 0-1 pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cubs first baseman Olt batting just 141. Recently back from the minor leagues. Spent a good part of the season with the major league club. Olt with 12 home runs and 30 runs batted in. And he swings and hits a base hit. And that's somewhat of an uncommon occurrence for Olt. The fact that he gets a single. The majority of his hits are extra base hits. That is the first hit for the Cubs.
All or nothing approach for Olt. It's a 94 mile per hour 2-seamer from Garrett Cole. Short and quick.
Logan Watkins, the number 8 hitter, second baseman.
Just over an hour into the ball game. Garrett Cole throws his first pitch from the stretch.
1-0 pitch. Swinging and a miss. Will you get your watch on the game? Keeping tabs on?
Just noticed that he hasn't been out on the mound very often. We've been in our dugout, swinging the bats, scoring runs.
Nobody out. Olt at first base. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
I always wonder about that. I always think, especially when pitchers go deep into a game with a perfect game, and all of a sudden it's, say, the 6th or 7th inning, and then they got to go and pitch from the stretch for the first time. I have to think that's a little different, a little awkward.
1 to Watkins.
Seem to get into a rhythm when you're in the windup, and you're repeating your delivery, you're doing the same thing, and then all of a sudden, for the first time since Garrett Cole warmed up, he's pitching from the stretch.
That's why relievers typically all pitch from the stretch, regardless if there's somebody on or not. Didn't always used to be that way.
Now, I've heard a lot of guys, in terms of warming up or throwing their bullpen session in between starts, the majority of pitchers will throw most of their pitches from the stretch. And for the simple fact that your most important pitches are going to come from the stretch. When you're in situations where it's bases loaded or 2 on, 2 out, or whatever the case may be, you're going to be in the stretch, and so you have to execute and get the big out with good location to avoid the big hit. And so it makes more sense, I would think, when pitchers are starting out, getting loose before a game or working on things in between starts, to throw the majority of pitches out of the stretch.
3-2, slap the other way, foul. 7-mile-an-hour fastball.
If you make a mistake out of the windup, it's only going to cost you 1 run. If you make a mistake out of the stretch, it'll cost you a lot more.
Cole pitching to Watkins. 3-2, nobody out. Olt the runner at first. Pitch is pulled foul. It's way out of here.
When you have that kind of velocity as Cole does, hitters cheat. What I mean by cheat, they start those hands early. Try to get them back, try to get it started. And then you get an off-speed pitch, and you're way out in front.
Struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Garrett Cole. Let's send it back to Pittsburgh right now. Another game break with Paul. Thank you very much, Paul. And Cardinals will do some work in that series still. Jokic sacrifice bunt, gets Olt over to second base with 2 men out. First major league sacrifice for Eric Jokic. Olt in scoring position. Back to the top of the order. Arismendi Alcantara popped up to shortstop Mercer. His first time up. Alcantara's got some power in his last 13 games. 5 home runs. Hit a 2-run shot Tuesday against Milwaukee. Also hit a home run on the 30th of August against the Cardinals. Switch hitter batting left. Takes ball one. Bolt drifting off of second base. And Cole's 1-0 pitch. That's a strike. 1-1. Well, we knew that series between the Cardinals and Brewers would be huge as far as the division goes. And they still have 3 more games against one another after today. Those will be in St. Louis.
It'll be interesting. Again, it is kind of strange that series. You know, you can gain ground on one team or the other, but you still have your sights on a division. And so I think if Milwaukee goes in there and wins the series and takes 3 or 4, you can creep up on the Cardinals for the division lead.
Alcantara down on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Cole as we are through 3 at Wrigley. With Panthers Rewind on Root Sports, relive every Panthers touchdown, pass, and play from their most recent matchup every Sunday night this fall. Continuing with yesterday's game, or Friday's game rather, against Boston College. It's Panthers Rewind tonight at 6 on Root Sports. Pretty good effort. We'll take a look at that again.
Yeah, they were pretty good, weren't they?
Pitts off to a great start. Well, Bears playing today. There's a vintage Walter Payton jersey, the orange Bears jersey. Brian Urlacher, one of the better Bears defensive players in their franchise's history. Andrew McCutchen, 2 for 2, a single and a home run. He scored twice. He leads off the 4th inning for the Pirates.
Isn't that the guy Bettis ran over at the goal line? Wondering
which time.
I know there was like a snowy game in Pittsburgh that happened.
Oh, 2 pitch from Jokic. That was not a slight on Urlacher, by the way. Bettis has run over a lot of guys.
Yeah, he has.
You get the nickname the bus. Foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kutch almost hit it completely out onto Waving Avenue in the 2nd inning. This was a no-doubter off of Travis Wood. Way up in the bleachers. Number 22. 2 pitch, swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. That's certainly something Jokic will remember, striking out the reigning MVP.
question. He's up and away with a fastball, 90 miles per hour. You don't see Andrew Chase pitch that far out of the zone very often.
Walter Payton jersey. Walker gets this one foul out of play on the right side. Walker 2 for 2. 2-run homer and a base hit. Scored 2 runs. 278. So he's got the Neil Walker foul ball. Foul tip. That's strike 2. She said no. The kid came over, said, "Please, may I have the ball?" She said,
She said, "Why? You got a little kid."
She's got plans for it, apparently.
She has a little one. She'd like the ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Walker. Two pitch from Jokic. And a Walker and a base hit. Another 3-hit game for Neil Walker. Solidly struck up the middle. And with 1 out, the Pirates have a man aboard. Pirate fans, it's that time again. Show us how you root for the Bucks. Be our AT&T fan photo of the game. Show us the most unique ways you raise the Jolly Roger, the fun places you watch the games on Root Sports, or how you display your Pirates pride. Submit a picture via Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during our telecast today. Bucko fans happy with what they see so far, without question. A lot of Pirate fans made their way here this weekend.
Beautiful weekend. Well, with the exception of the rain, I guess. Couldn't get better weather.
The drizzle?
Yeah.
Also, Martin takes a ball 1-1. Colin Kaepernick getting here. Foul tip into the glove of Castillo for a strike, 1-2. For Neil Walker's 12th 3-hit game this season. That's the 4th time he's had a 3-hit game against left-handed pitching in his career while batting right-handed. So chase that one. He goes down on strikes, 2 gone.
Change up off the plate away. Not saying this is the case, but at times when you have a comfortable lead, some guys, they want to get greedy. They want to swing for the fences and get out of their typical approach, which may play into Jokic's hands.
Well, Tabata grounds one into left field, a base hit. Jose has 2 hits. 2 for 3 for Tabata.
3 hard hit balls for Jose. See the Pirates just keep adding on.
I think Jose saw what happened with Andrew Lambeau, and he took over right field. He hit. And the more he hit, the more he stayed in. And if Tabata can continue to hit, he'll play more. Goes back to that thing we talk about all the time. Players make the lineup. He is 1 for 2. He doubled off the left field wall in the 2nd inning and flied out. Also in the 2nd inning. Had 2 at bats in the 2nd. The Pirates batted around. Bucks had 6 consecutive hits in the inning. 7 total in that inning. And the last time the Pirates had 7 hits in an inning, August 12th of 2012 against San Diego. Before that, it was here at Wrigley Field on August 1st of 2012. And in that game, the Pirates had 7 straight hits in the inning. A roller down the first base side, and it goes foul. Bolt couldn't get to it quick enough.
That's some bad luck when you take a full swing. You hit the ball off the very end of the bat. And it's got a lot of English on it. And as a right-handed hitter especially, if it stays fair, that's bad luck. Because the first baseman just comes over, catches it, steps on the bag. Always seemed to me like the good hitters, the real good hitters, it never stayed fair. Always went foul.
Two on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Gabby looks at it, 2-2. Open ball from Jokic. Jokic making his major league debut today. Coming in relief of Travis Wood. The starter lasted only 1 2/3. The battery sitting on the bench discussing. As Gabby drills one to center field, Walker is going to get waved home. And the throw comes through. Neal scores standing up. Ball gets away from Castillo, and everybody moves up. 8-0.
Yes, sir. Keep it going.
An error charge to the catcher, Castillo.
Ball rocket out to the center fielder. A little trouble getting it out of his gloves. Pretty strong and accurate throw. Neal coming a little awkwardly at the plate.
And now it's time for Brent Morel. He has hit the ball hard twice. He flied out deep to center field in the second inning. Thought he had enough, but didn't get enough carry. And then hit one to the pitcher. This time he lobs it into right field, and this ball is going to be caught by Caleb. Pirates will leave 2, but they get 1 on 3 hits. There was an error. Through 3.5, 8-0 Buccos.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Fake punt.
Gabby Sanchez with a 2-out RBI. It's another on the board for the Bucks. It's 8-0 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pirates brought their fans and their bats with them today. Third game of a 3-game series. Pirates winning the first 2. Now Baez will face Garrett Cole. Cole delivers a breaking ball for a strike. Baez struck out looking his first time up. Strikes out about 40% of the time. 0-1 pitch. Chased the pitch, and now it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Baez hitting 173. And the 0-2 delivery. That's up high. Fastball. 94 miles an hour from Garrett Cole. Cole faced Baez, Coghlan, and Valbuena this inning. 1-2 pitch.
Oh, very close. Park University strike zone says should have got it.
And a bouncing ball to third. Morel throwing on the run, getting Baez. One gone.
Baez considers that a victory.
Making contact?
Yeah.
He's made some contact. Not enough, but he's made some. Hit 7 home runs in a short period of time. But as hot as the Cubs bats were in their recent series, prior to when the Pirates came in, they have really cooled off. Pirates pitchers have cooled off these Cub bats. Ball 1 to Coghlan. In spite of losing 2 in a row for Chicago, they're 22-17 starting July 28th. From that time, that's the 4th best record in the National League and the 9th best mark in the majors. 22 wins since July 8th, tied for the most in the National League with St. Louis and Washington. So again, some better baseball being played here recently, but they haven't shown it during this series.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens going into next year with these Cubs, and how close they feel they are to competing. Whether they make any additions, if they think these young players are ready to tackle a full season.
2-2 to Coghlan, the left fielder. Getting a piece of that one at 98. He's thrown a few 98s already. We have seen 199. As the pitch he struck out Kalish on to end the second inning. Rick Renteria understands the spot he's in right now with the Cubs and the fact that they are developing. They're a developing team.
Armstrong pick up the second hit of the afternoon. You don't have Castro, you don't have Rizzo. Obviously, that's the 2 big bats missing from the lineup. Pretty good piece of hitting here. It's a changeup, 88-mile-per-hour changeup off the plate. Able to stay back and get a good piece of it.
One out and one on. Batter is Valbuena. Strikeout victim in the second inning. Takes a strike here. .248 for Valbuena. 16 homers on the year. Not bad power numbers for Valbuena. Takes a strike. He was platooning at the beginning of the year. 0-2. I did see Chris Valaika play a little bit of third base. Valbuena out against Liriano yesterday. 0-2. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gabby Sanchez and Chris Coghlan know one another through the minor league system with the Marlins. Played together there. Fouling out of play. First base is a great position to renew acquaintances, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get to talk to everybody.
I suppose probably a better time to do it when there's pitching change or something. I think as a base runner, you still got to know the situation, what's going on, the outs, where everybody's playing. Don't want to get too distracted over there.
1-2 fouled off again. Talking about third base or first base. Pedro Alvarez apparently having some more problems with his foot. Sprained foot he suffered at PNC Park against the Cardinals. Hasn't been able to play the field since. There's a base hit to right field. Coghlan will turn second and head for third. He falls down. Throw comes into second, and Coghlan is out. A blowout around second base for Coghlan. He tried to get back to the bag, and Tabata getting to second base, and Coghlan is out.
And seriously, again, you're down 7 runs. And again, you're renewing acquaintances at first base, obviously. We're having a conversation. Maybe the conversation distracts you. You don't realize that you're down 7-0. Whether he's indecisive or if he planned on going to third, who knows? But even if he's going to continue on and go to third, do you want to risk making an out when you're down 7-0 at third? Are you sure you're going to get there and make it to third standing up?
Or even if you're down 8-0.
So he went for 2 on that 2-point conversion, right? So 8-0.
Yeah,
why?
but your point is the
I'd
same.
rather you point it out if I'm real.
Your point is the same, though.
Right. I mean, you can't make those types of outs on the bases. It just looks bad.
2 men out and a 1-1 count on Castillo. There's the pitch from Cole. Outside, 2-1. But you're right. Down 8 runs. You got to go. You're thinking station to station here. Just stay alive.
Unless you're certain you can get the third standing up, station to station.
2-1. Frontless Castillo. Speed pitch from Cole. Garrett peering in at Russell Martin. Here's a sign. And Castillo's out on strikes. Another strikeout for Garrett Cole. 2 hits, no runs for the Cubs. We'll go to the 5th.
because I'm mic'd up. No one talking to the whole BP. People are throwing things at me.
See and hear more of Ike Davis mic'd up during batting practice along with the Buckos Sporting Clays event. With Bannister right there and the Pirate Parrot with some pointers. It's all on this week's Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, tomorrow after postgame on Root Sports. 8-0. 13 hits for the Pirates, 3 home runs. Neil Walker's 2-run homer in the first, and then a 2-run homer by Mercer in the second. A solo homer goes back-to-back with Mercer's by McCutchen. And the leadoff man this inning will be Garrett Cole. Food looks good out there, Rock.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole, ground ball to third. Valbuena up with it. Cole grounds out with the first pitch. One down.
What kind of jersey? Was that like a soccer jersey? It kind of looks like the old Steeler throwback.
You got the colors right. I didn't notice the logo, though. But probably right. Avonmore. Yeah, it looks like a soccer jersey. Yeah. Starling Marte at the plate now. He is 2 for 3. His average to 277. Jokic delivers, and a hard hit ground ball down to Baez at short. Throws on to first to get him. 2 men out for the Pirates in the 5th.
Wow. Marte's just swinging the bat so well. Just a different hitter since he's come off the disabled list. Short and quick and loud.
Two for 4 in the afternoon for Starling. Two men out. Jordy Mercer, the batter. And Jordy will take a strike. Jordy's 1 for 3 with a loud 2-run home run to left in the second. Pirates have 10 more hits than the Cubs in the game. 13-3, they're out hitting them. Mercer going deep for the second time in as many games. This was the one he hit last night out into the bleachers. 50 pitches now for Jokic. He's thrown about as many pitches as the starter Travis Wood did.
Recorded more outs than Travis Wood.
This one is flared right at the shortstop Baez, who makes the catch. The Pirates, for the first time today, are retired in order. Middle of the 5th at Wrigley, 8-0 Bucks. 7th, 1962. Bill Mazeroski powered the Pirates to a 10-1 win against the Dodgers. Tied at 1 of the 8th. Maz hit a grand slam off Stan Williams to give the Pirates a comfortable lead. He added a 2-run single to cap the scoring in the 9th, giving him 6 RBIs for the day. Earl Francis threw a complete game 4-hitter for the Bucs, striking out 9 for his 7th win of the year. And today, Neil Walker hitting a home run in the first inning, his 19th. He and Bill Mazeroski now share the single season record for a Pirates second baseman with home runs, 19. Neil still has 20 games to go after today. Get that record all to himself. 1-0 pitch to Kalish. Swing and a miss. Garrett Cole made quick work of Kalish in the second inning, striking him out on 3 pitches. The last one was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Kalish swung through. Cole's 1-1 delivery. It's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Cole's been efficient. Just 63 pitches, the bullpen. The 5th inning stretch.
2-1. This one's hammered to right center field. Way back it goes, and Kalish hits it off the wall. McCutchen will retrieve it. Kalish heading for third. He will be in with a triple. Fourth triple of the season for Kalish.
Watch Garrett Cole's reaction. I think he thought it was going to leave the ballpark. Look, he's looking for a new ball. And that's what the wind does here at Wrigley. Knocks it down and short hops the wall. Kalish flying around the bases easily into third base.
Well, the leadoff man is at third base for Chicago. Mike Olt is the batter. He's 1 for 1. He had a single up the middle in the third. Pitch. That's into left field, and the Cubs will score, making an 8-1 game. 2 for 2 for Mike Olt. His 31st RBI.
Turned around a fastball back in the third. It's a breaking ball from Garrett Cole. I can't tell if that was a slider or the curveball. I'm guessing the curveball. He left it up. Interesting enough, no action in the bullpen. The Cubs down 8-1. Pitcher on deck.
Apparently they're going to let him go. He was a starter again in the minor leagues, but brought up here in September to help out of the bullpen.
I just think it's interesting. You know, you get the leadoff triple. What if there's a couple walks and you have the bases loaded and nobody out in the 5th inning? And it's basically saying, well, we don't care about winning this game. That's just my impression. I'm just saying. Now, if this guy hits a double and it's second and third, now obviously if he gets on at first, second, you got to have your pitcher up there and bunt. But if he hits a double at second, third, and 8-1 game in the 5th inning, and you're letting this rookie pitcher go up there to hit, you're basically saying, hey, this game doesn't matter. Now, I understand that, you know, it's a young team and they just want these guys to get opportunities and go out and play, but you still want to win, don't you?
Ground ball to Gabby, goes to second for 1. Retire Olt, the lead runner. 1 out. Watkins aboard in the fielder's choice, and Jokic, the pitcher, will come up. Jokic with 1 out. Does have a sacrifice bunt. His first major league plate appearance back in the 3rd inning. Brings the runner at first. Jokic will try to bunt him over. Gets the ball in play. Sanchez will tag him. Another sacrifice bunt.
Fearless with a bat in his hand. As a young pitcher, he's not afraid to get up there and square around Garrett Cole.
Well, 2 men out now for Chicago in the bottom of the 5th. You can join the Pirates Boys and Girls Club and Baseball Tomorrow Fund by donating new or gently used baseball or softball equipment before the game Friday, September 12th. All items will be donated to local Pittsburgh RBI programs, giving inner city children the opportunity to participate in baseball and softball. For more information on the RBI program, visit pirates.com/Pirates Charities. Spendy Alcantara at the plate takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. Struck out last time in the 3rd. Popped up to short in the 1st.
I'm impressed by his 2 sacrifice bunts. The young guy goes up there because I've always said I think a lot of times sacrificing, there's a big fear factor involved. And I think that's why certain guys aren't as successful as others, because they're a little afraid to turn around and square up and get their nose out there against a guy throwing 95, 100 miles per hour. But Jokic, 2 pitches, 2 perfect bunts.
And the 0-2. On the left field side, foul. 7 miles an hour. Safe to say he was late on that.
A little bit.
And there is strikeout number 7 for Garrett Cole. 1 run comes in on 2 hits. Cubs leave a man. Heading to inning number 6. It's the Pirates 8 and the Cubs 1. Down the Steelers season opener against the Browns. Get his analysis on the game, updates on your favorite players, and a look into next week's matchup with the Ravens during his live press conference tomorrow at noon on Root Sports. 8-1 Pirates, top of the 6th inning. Andrew McCutchen will lead off. Pirates' final game in Chicago this season. Touch 2 for 3. And now this one down the left field side, just foul. Got around on it well enough.
Out in front. Curveball. .307 average. Homered in the 2nd inning. One ball and 1 strike. Which went 3 for 5 in game 2 yesterday. Another multiple hit effort for him today, looking for more. Ground ball through the shift.
And into left center field, another 3-hit game for Kutch.
Boy, you have to say, Andrew is back. Feeling good. Hard to tell if there's, you hope that there's no ill effects from that ribcage injury, but gets a pitch up out over the plate, and they had the shift on. He still hits it hard enough. Places it perfectly between the second baseman and the shortstop.
Neil Walker also with 3 hits, 3 for 3, 2 singles and a homer. He takes strike 1 from Jokic. Pirates have 14 hits in the ball game today. Walker's got 3 of them. McCutchen has 3 of them. Fouled off.
Neil had a 5-hit game here. And I'm trying to think, did he have a teammate that had 5 hits as well? I want to say Garrett Jones maybe had 4 or 5 hits in the same game.
Jokic stretch in the 0-2 coming. That is up high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 the count to Walker. McCutchen off of first. And the 1-2. And Neal pops this one up. He was drifting over by the Pirate dugout and too far for Ole. Looked like it spun back, and he might have had a play on it, but it spun over near the TV camera. He couldn't get it.
I thought the wind was going to blow it out. I think he has a play. I think he just came in towards home too much. It's behind him. It's out of his reach behind him, not in terms of it's not that far. If he's in a better position, a little deeper. See, have a shot at that. He'll take it. Another crack. Sure, John, the cameraman's happy too. Taking Dennis' camera.
To break it, you buy it. You don't want to have to buy one of those, though.
I can only imagine.
You can't get those in the store. Go to first base. Kutch gets back. Walker 3 for 3 today. 2-run home run in the first inning. We told you earlier, ties him with Bill Mazeroski for the most number of home runs by a Pirates second baseman in a single season. 19 of them. Castillo couldn't catch that one. He's not been able to put away a lot of foul tips. Would be third strikes.
Oh, that gets a piece of the right shoulder. Pretty good cut from Neil Walker. Ouch. He got one in the bicep yesterday. Imagine the throwing arm feeling too good after taking foul tips off of it.
Side ball 3, 3-2. Full count on Walker. Now, you caught for a little while. It doesn't feel good, does it? You ever take one directly right off the bicep like that?
No, not off. I've never, got him off the throwing arm. I've got him off the hand a couple times. Got him off the mask.
3-2 pitch, strike 3 call. Walker didn't like it. One out for the Pirates in the 6th inning.
Curveball. Take a look. He stayed top of the zone. Neil thought it was a bit up. Steele may have thought it was a bit up the way he pulled it down across the letters.
Martin is 1 for 2 with a walk. That's a strike. Nothing in 1 to Russell Martin. Pirates out hitting the Cubs 14-5 in the game. And Martin, the center field, a base hit. He's got 2 hits on the afternoon. And the Bucks with runners at first and second and 1 out. 15th hit for the Pirates today. They brought their bats with them to Chicago.
I'd say 6 of the 8. At least 2.
Well, for those of you who may be joining us right now after the Steelers win over Cleveland in the opener, I'm Tim Never. John Wayner is here. Robbie Innsmikowski with us. The Pirates have 3 home runs in the ball game. Had 2 in the second inning. Mercer and McCutchen back to back after walkers in the first inning. Pirates batted around in the second inning. We're in the 5 spot on the board. Talbot takes inside. Jose with 2 hits and 3 trips. He also has driven in a run. Sean Sweesom, a 41-yard field goal to win it.
That was a lot tighter, I think, than the folks wanted. Steelers. Looked like they blew a big lead.
2 balls, no strikes to Jose Talbot. Mike Tomlin's press conference tomorrow at noon. The Ravens win Thursday night, I believe. Short week, right? Top of the ground ball to short. Baez flips to second for 1, back to first. That's a double play. Looking across, 1 hit, 1 left. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Pirates 8, Cubs 1.
And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The most popular way to follow the Pirates' push to the postseason is with MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Get @BAT for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. Gotta have it. Well, the Steeler fan happy, the Bears fan unhappy. They just lost a field goal in overtime. So, Bills beat them. They might be looking at their app of choice on the phone. Maybe it's @BAT. Garrett Cole shaking off the first couple of signs from Martin. Will face Baez, the shortstop. And Baez takes low ball 1. .72 for Baez. Today he's 0 for 2. Ground ball to the front of the Cub dugout. Foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Action in the bullpen. Blake Parker.
I want to say he is, I believe, the only reliever we haven't faced in this 3-game series.
They've run a lot of them out there.
I mean, they have 14 guys in their bullpen. Maybe not. We haven't seen Jacob Turner.
No, you're right. He is the only other guy we haven't seen. Crowded out there.
14-man bullpen.
Pirates with 15 hits on the board. They have recorded 10 or more hits against the Cubs this year in 7 of the 16 games they've played. And the bullpen's played a role in that for Chicago. Giving up a bunch of hits. Also the starters. Strike 3, and down on strikes for the second time today looking is Javier Baez.
What goes through his head, and that pitch, center cut, Baez. I don't know if it was just by him before he could pull the trigger. Maybe he was looking for the breaking ball.
Strikeout number 8 for Garrett Cole. He had a big strikeout game against the Cubs on the 10th of April here at Wrigley Field. He struck out 10 that day. It's a season high. Might get there today. Chris Coghlan, 1 fouled back, and that's strike 2. So we look at what's happening here today, Rock, as we get deeper into this game. And you look at what's happening up the road in Milwaukee, where the Cardinals are leading 6-0 in the 7th and are poised to take 3 of 4 from the Brewers. If the Pirates win today and the Brewers lose, the Pirates pass the Brewers in the standings. And a base hit for Coghlan. 1-out single. He's 2 for 3 off of Garrett Cole. Well, talking about the Cardinals, let's send it back to Paul Alexander in Pittsburgh with this game break. Thanks, Paul. And, you know, as far as the division goes, Pirates still certainly with an opportunity. 20 games remain after today. Cardinals seem to be red hot. They're about ready to win their 6th game in the last 7 tries. And you hope they cool off down the stretch at some point in time. Every team does. It's ups and downs in baseball. Pirates do not have any more remaining games head-to-head with the Cardinals. There's this one foul. Eric Hinsky picks it up, first base coach. Well, the Pirates began the day just a half game out of that second wild card spot.
And the Braves lost, and Brewers look like they're going down, so right back in there.
In that second wild card spot. Today is game number 142 on the regular season, so 20 left after today. How about a drone with a camera on it, Rock?
How about that?
Should share the shots. See what they're looking at. It's probably frowned upon for people to do that. They're near over the stands at some point. It's probably not a good idea. Valbuena launches one to right. Tabata has it in front of the track. Valbuena thought he might have got one, but Ballpark held it. And there were 2 men out for the Cubs in the 6th.
A little bit of breeze.
Bat flip.
He flipped the bat, I think, because he knew he didn't get it. A little bit off the end of the bat. And again, the conditions. The breeze blowing out, it's in the bleachers. Breeze blowing in, it's in the mitt.
Valentin Castillo takes ball 1. That was one of your tips to win. Watch the flags. See where the Pirates flag is. It's going to move up, looks like. Move up above the Brewers. You know, you go to St. Louis, lose 3 in a row, and it's gloom and doom. A few days later, things change.
It's crazy. Ups and downs.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Castillo. 2 down, a man aboard. Bounces this one foul back into the seats. And it's a 1-2 count on the Cubs catcher. This is what you wanted. This is what baseball fans in Pittsburgh appreciate. Meaningful games in September.
And so many people were against the wild card, 1, let alone 2. I think it's just awesome. Adding more teams.
Down the left field side, and that is going to be a fair ball. It's right on the line. Marte picks it up and drops it. And that is going to allow Coghlan to come in and score. It's 8-2.
I doubt Castillo will be credited with an RBI. Coghlan was being held up at third until the drop by Marte as Castillo perfectly placed right on the line.
And Coghlan from first base. He's slowing up for a second. Now realizes he's getting the go-ahead, and he scores easily. Castillo into second. 2 outs, runner at second base. Another run in for the Cubs, and the Pirates' lead has been trimmed to 6. Struck to Ryan Kalish. Kalish had a triple in the 5th. Struck out back in the 2nd. Cubs have some activity in the bullpen as Cubs get a little deeper into the batting order. 18th double for Castillo. Garrett Cole's pitch count at 95. His spot in the batting order due up third in the top of the 7th. Swings and misses. Kalish does. It's 1-2. So you got to figure that Garrett's outing's getting shorter.
I think this might be it for Garrett.
Parker ready in the pen for the Cubs. She will pitch that top of the 7th. 2 outs and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count to Kalish. Set 1 low. 2-2. Was the situation that Liriano ran into yesterday, where although he was pitching well, his pitch count got up there and he only lasted 6 innings. He told Clint Hurdle and Ray Searage in the dugout he wanted to continue to pitch. In the air to left, right to Starling Marte. And the Cubs will strand a man. They do get 1 run in. There was an error. On to the 7th at Wrigley Field. 6-run lead for the Pirates. Our AT&T fan photo for the day. You keep your submissions coming in at #BucksFanPhoto. And there's a family here at the ballpark today. Bucco fans made the trip from Pittsburgh. Thanks for the photo. Thanks for coming out to Chicago to see the Pirates. That's our AT&T fan photo. Garrett Cole's got the hoodie on. He's got his helmet in his hand, so he may not be done. They did not charge an error. The official score did not charge an error to Starling Marte, and they're saying it was a double with an RBI. Matt Caesar now is in right field for Chicago as Blake Parker takes over on the hill.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's reviewed, because that was pretty obvious to anybody watching the game that the runner was being held up until the bobble by Marte. And Parker, 12th appearance, 1-1, 6.43 ERA. Strikeouts, a couple more than innings pitched.
Blake Parker, big right-hander, facing Gabby Sanchez. Strike one to Gabby. Gabby doubled in the second inning. He singled home a run in the fourth. 2 for 3. Good afternoon so far for Sanchez. Yeah, I have a hard time believing it was not an error on Marte.
It's obvious. I mean,
Coughlin was not going to score from first base on a ball hit to left field.
If you're watching the game, you see plain as day that the runner was being held up. It was incredibly obvious. And again, I'm sure that the Pirates can review it, save Garrett Cole an earned run, but if you're watching the game and you're an official scorer, you should certainly be watching the game. It would be pretty obvious.
Breaking ball inside to Sanchez. Sanchez facing Blake Parker in the top half of the 7th inning. Parker replacing Eric Jokic, who in his major league debut went 4 1/3 innings. And Gabby pulls this one down to the left field corner, and that one is off the ivy. Gabby around first, heading for second, and Gabby in safely with his second leadoff double of the ballgame. 3 hits for Gabby Sanchez today.
Have some fun. Gabby. Another high fastball. That's what he turned around back in the second inning, hit it off the wall. That one was about neck high. This one just chest high.
$16 hits. Hit parade here in Chicago today. Morel needs one. Pirates do not have a hit from the 8-9 spots in the order. Cole's 0 for 3. Castillo takes another foul ball and shake it off.
Catchers take a beating, and some days worse than others. This one off the face mask.
Double for Gabby. He's off second base. 0-1 to count to Morel, who is the only position player to not have a hit today.
He's hit some balls hard. Just no luck.
Down to 103 for Josh Harrison. He is feeling the effects of the ankle discomfort he suffered yesterday. Did not play in the second game. That is the reason Morel is out there for Josh Harrison. Harrison leading the league, by the way, in batting average at .315. He picks up his play again soon, and they hope it's soon. Let's see what he does with his average. Hopefully he keeps it going. And Morel hits a ground ball towards short. Biles a diving stop, throws to first to go.
Oh, that's just some bad luck. And the ball knocked down by the wind, almost 400 feet to center. It's an out. He lines the ball up the middle off the pitcher's leg. The ball doesn't deflect anywhere. It gets thrown out. And this bullet up the middle, Baez falling to his right, throwing from his knees. Robbed of 3 hits.
Garrett Cole 0 for 3. Swings and hammers it to left field. Way back. That's the first career home run for Garrett Cole. How do you like that? 10-2 Pirates as Cole ambushes Blake Parker. That's one he'll remember.
That was a bomb. Yeah, he'll remember it. And we talk about it. He competes. He competes on the mound. Look at the look in his eyes. I mean, he's angry. Every at bat he's had today, he was up there trying to help his team, trying to get hits. Now he's getting the silent treatment.
He did his own yes. Did you see that? Martin's doubled over and they're laughing. Mike Davis too.
This is like the longest silent treatment I've ever seen.
And Russell's counting down. And Starling Marte, diving stop, Baez out at first.
That was really impressive again.
The end of the silent treatment for Garrett Cole. Wow. What a bomb.
Throw a fastball in there and he knows it. He goes into his trot. He watches it all the way.
Well, like it happens all the time. A couple more rows up, it would have been on Waveland Ave. Man,
too much of a line drive.
So now Garrett Cole joins the likes of Steve Blass and Bob Walk, who each hit their first career home runs at Wrigley Field. And now Jordy Mercer will take ball 1.
Now that's gone anywhere. For what ballpark you're playing in, that's a bomb.
Gotta throw it back. It's catch and release here. I think he put it in his pocket. Catch and release for the visitors at Wrigley Field. Because Garrett wants that ball.
You're going to find a way to get it.
Also says welcome to the club. Mercer, who also homered today, fouls this one back. Now the guy catches it. He comes down and he's going to give it to a kid. Makes the trip all the way down to the front of the bleachers. Now, how are you going to get that away from the kid? That's a tough one.
They'll make a trade.
Yeah, you have to negotiate. The kid will make out way better.
I'm sure.
Garrett Cole's first career major league home run. He's got the baseball. Two and 2 to Mercer. 2 men out, top of the 7th. Jordy flares one into short center field for a base hit. Mercer's second hit of the afternoon. Let's just keep on hitting. Baker has come in out of the bullpen. He's given up 3 hits so far, 2 runs, 18 hits.
7 Pirate hitters with multiple hits. And poor Brent Morrell, he could easily have 3 and has none.
Last Pirate pitcher, incidentally, to hit a home run. Ross Ohlendorf on the 15th of September in 2011 at Dodger Stadium off of Dana Evelyn. And the thing that was impressive about that was it was an opposite field home run, which at night ball doesn't carry as well at Dodger Stadium. And Ohlendorf put it into the Pirate bullpen down the right field side there. McCutchen having a good day. 3 for 4. Back-to-back 3-hit games for Andrew McCutchen. Kutch rolls one to Baez. He'll shovel it to Watkins at second base to force out Mercer. Well, they're talking to Garrett Cole again as Garrett Cole lit up the dugout after his first career home run. Kind of hardball tactics the young man employs. So Garrett Cole, we gave you the numbers earlier today. His last 3 starts, first 6 innings of the ball game, very good. Touched up a little bit in the 7th, but hopefully today he can shut down the Cubs in the 7th, get those numbers back to even. First pitch to Mike Olt.
Didn't miss by much.
There's the 1-0 pitch to Olt. Swung on. It's popped up to the new right fielder, Gregory Polanco, makes the charge, and he trapped it. A base hit for Olt. He's got a 3-hit day.
And, you can hear Garrett Cole yelling, in. He's still out there competing. He doesn't want to give up anything else. Ball just out of the reach. Polanco. Long strides, good speed. And the wind not helping as that ball was getting held up.
McCutchen out of the ball game, so Polanco's in right. Marte moves from left to center, and from right to left is Jose Tabata. Jose's had a pretty good day himself, even though he hit into a double play in the 6th. Still has 2 hits. Marte has a pair of hits today. McCutchen with 3 hits. Just to sit down the rest of the afternoon. And that one hits Watkins. So now trouble brewing for Garrett Cole here in the 7th. Relatively speaking, with an 8-run lead. Olt goes down to second base. Watkins hit by the pitch. Down first.
Missing at the location, just getting a piece. Right arm.
scroll some of the tweets concerning Garrett Cole's use of the baseball bat last inning.
You can tell he's a little fired up today. Unhappy with some calls against him when he was in the batter's box.
Oh, 1 pitch. Caesar looks at it for a strike, and it's 0-2. Nobody out, 2 on for Chicago, bottom of the 7th. Pirates have 4 home runs in the game. Garrett Cole's got one of them. First time they've had 4 homers in a game since the 11th of August against Detroit. This one gets away from Russ, and the runners move on. Wild pitch. Pirates actually had a 5 home run game against the Cubs here on April 9th.
Way out in front of the plate, and Russell Martin does his best, comes up, hits him in the wrist.
Gianmarco Gomez, the right-hander, and Bobby LaFramboise, who has yet to appear for the Pirates in a game. Left-hander. Oh, Walker can't get that one. That's into right center field. This will score 2. Base hit for Matt Caesar. Now a 10-4 ball game. That's going to do it. Clint Hurdle's going to come get Garrett Cole. 2 hits in the inning and a hit batsman. A wild pitch. 2 runs come in. So the 7th inning proves to be a thorn in the side of Garrett Cole, who's had himself a good day nonetheless. And a home run as well. On and 2 in. The Cubs got 2 off of Cole here, so 4 earned runs. One of those might be changed if the official score would make a scoring change on the apparent error by Starling Marte. And now Gianmarco Gomez will take over here in the 7th inning, inheriting 1 runner after Matt Caesar's 2-run single chased Cole.
Expect him to pound the strike zone, get some quick and early contact.
Doesn't look too pleased, does he?
He's not happy. I'm kidding you. He's always intense, but for whatever reason today, it seemed like he was more intense than normal.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's great that he has intensity. I think it's great that he shows how competitive he is.
Absolutely.
He's a high-level player. He's an elite-level pitcher and will be for a number of years.
And after this game's over, we'll cherish the memory, picking up a win, pitching well, and probably biggest of all, His first big league home run.
Alcantara at the plate. And he takes in the dirt. Mendy, Alcantara, 2 for 3. And warming up now is Fujikawa. So if he gets in the ball game, you might want to relax. There's a ground ball to second. Walker's got it. Throws to Mercer for one. Back to first. No double play. Throw a little bit high, and that took Gabby off the bag, so Alcantara safe at first on a fielder's choice.
He can fly. Any kind of hesitation or delay, he's going to beat it out. He's not going to ground into many double plays. And Neal going to do the 180 turn to Jordy. Jordy gets rid of it as quickly as he can. Put something on it. I'm not sure even if the throw's chest high, it would have been bang bang.
One out runner at first base for Baez. Baez is 0 for 3. He struck out twice. And he takes a strike. They're trying to teach him to be patient. They want Baez to be more patient at the plate, meaning not chase a lot of pitches. But now we see him take more pitches. One ball, one strike. And where's that fine line, Rock, where patience becomes an issue one way or the other?
Well, it's his approach. It's the way he goes about it. It's going to be Baez's way or the Cubs' way. I'm sure the Cubs are just going to keep running him out there until he either makes adjustments on his own or he'll end up back in AAA if he keeps going the way he's been going. You're not going to allow this kid to just go up there and swing and swing and swing and strike out every 2.5 times, 40% of the time. Obviously, he's had success at the minor league levels swinging this way. He's the hitting coach, Bill Miller. But at the big league level, they're going to exploit the weaknesses over and over and over and over again. So he's either going to have to make adjustments here at this level or make the adjustments back down in AAA.
Cubs president Theo Epstein was quoted in the papers 2 days ago saying that they're going to let him try to figure it out here. Work on it over the offseason. See what happens in spring training.
I almost feel it's like a lesson. Like, we're going to let you throw. We're going to let you play every day, and sink or swim.
Patience paid off that time as Gomez walked it. Now the Cubs with 2 on. A 6-run lead in the 7th inning. And Clint Hurdle's coming out to get Genmar Gomez. Coghlan, the scheduled hitter, left-handed batter. And Clint is going to call on Bobby LaFramboise, who will make his Pirates debut when we come back to Wrigley Field.
Boyce, making his Pirates debut, parked his car in late August when he left for a road trip while with El Paso in the Padres organization. They left for a flight to Oklahoma City. The plane lands. He finds out immediately he gets DFA'd by the Padres. So he turns around the next day, goes back to El Paso, packed up his apartment, put everything in his car. He quickly was picked up by the Pirates, went to Indianapolis immediately, and left the car back in El Paso with all his stuff in it. So the Indian season ended on September 1st. He figured he would fly back to El Paso, get his car, and drive to L.A. where he lives. One problem with that. He was a September call-up by the Pirates, and he's quite thankful more than one way, Tim and John. He thought he was going to have to drive from El Paso back to L.A. As it turns out, he's just going to ship the car with his whole apartment in it while he's pitching here in the big leagues.
Yeah, got to keep track of your belongings. It's sometimes the life of a professional ball player. Framboy's first pitch as a Pirate. Coughlin swings and misses. He called Tuesday from AAA. Did not have any decisions. He had 5 scoreless relief appearances for the Indians. Robbie told you that Bobby is well traveled this year. It's his 3rd different organization this season. 1 out, 2 on. The 0-1 pitch from Framboise. Fouled off, and it's 0-2.
Coming right at Coughlin. 2 fastballs, 90 and 91 miles per hour.
Framboise actually got in a big league uniform this year, other than the Pirates, for the Padres. On the 9th of April, was called up as the 26th man as part of a doubleheader. You can bring up an extra guy during a doubleheader. That's one of the rules you have. But he didn't appear in a game. He was there just in case. 0-2, breaking ball outside.
That's a pretty good take from Coughlin. That slider looked like it was in the strike zone the entire flight. Just off the UPMC Sports Medicine strike zone, but had to be looking pretty good.
1-2 pitch from Framboise. Coughlin fouls it back. Coughlin's had himself a day. 2 hits, scored a run. Coughlin wants time for a second. A little over a year since Framboise, or a little under a year, I should say, since Framboise was last in the big leagues, was with Seattle late September. Coughlin drives this one to left center field where Marte was playing. He makes the catch. And there are now 2 out for the Cubs in the 7th.
Opportunities for Clint Hurdle here to Gomez a couple batters right on right now. Framboise a couple of batters left on left.
Not giving Framboise the opportunity today. Maybe we'd get him in at some point during this road trip.
Hear the scouting reports and the coaches tell you what you have, but you like to see it with your own eyes. I'm sure Clint Hurdle wanted to see what he could do against left-handed batters. Good slider, good location. And John Axford's up in the bullpen.
It's away, goes to the backstop. Runners move up. Wild pitch. Down to third base. Baez over to second. Things not as tidy here in the 7th inning as they had been through the first 6.
Russ just tries to short hop that. You rarely see it. I don't think he thought it was going to dive in the dirt. I think he thought he was going to get it maybe in the air or just be able to pick it at least. You almost always see Russ go out there and try to block it if he thinks it's going to be in the dirt.
Garrett Cole, pitcher of record, 6+, 4 earned runs on 9 hits. Well, he takes inside. Still very intense. I won't let his guard down until his game's final.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Popped up, outside, out near the Cub bullpen. The wind's got it and brings it into the seats. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be playable, probably down the line for Brent Morel, but it just kept on carrying. The wind pushed it out. Two outs, second and third, a 2-2 count. Luis Valbuena. There you go. Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg. Valbuena strikes out. Cubs leave 2. They get 2. And after 7 full, Pirates with a 10-4 lead over Chicago. Board leading 10-4 starting the 8th inning at Wrigley Field. And the Bucks hosting the Cubs this Saturday at PNC Park, 7:05. Stay after the game for Fan Jam featuring Pittsburgh favorite Leonard Skinner live in concert. See them perform all of their hits like Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, Simple Man, and more. To learn how you can watch the concert from the field, go to pirates.com/concerts. Leonard Skinner coming back to Pittsburgh.
Give me 3 steps.
In Houston. Rafael Lopez now doing the catching. Castillo is out. And it's a 6-run lead in the 8th. Neil Walker facing Blake Parker. That's ball 1. Cubs will end up in Toronto tomorrow. They have interleague play with the Blue Jays. They go to the launching pad known as the Rogers Center.
Yeah.
And the strike call to Walker.
We're talking about Volquez and how he only has 1 hit. He had a home run there last year.
Yeah, ball carries well there. Pirates going to another home run friendly ballpark, Philadelphia. 4 straight night games for the Phillies starting tomorrow night, 7:05. Walker looks at the breaking ball for a strike. They've gone to the bottom of the 9th inning in Milwaukee, St. Louis, with a 9-0 lead over the Brewers. Jeff Locke pitching against Kyle Kendrick tomorrow in Philadelphia. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Walker's down on strikes. Let's take a look at the road ahead for the Pirates. Brought to you by Nissan. And tomorrow, Pirates will open up a 4-game set against the Phillies. Jeff Locke taking on Kyle Kendrick in Game 1. Tuesday, Edinson Volquez will face David Buchanan. Wednesday, Vance Worley gets his first chance to pitch against his former team. He will face Jerome Williams. Then on Thursday, Francisco Liriano facing A.J. Burnett. Russell Martin pulls it down the left side. That's foul.
Pirates missed by 1 day, facing a 4th consecutive lefty. And missed Cole Hamels in that series. He pitched today.
Nothing in 1 to Martin. Parker's pitch. He pops it up. Middle of the infield. Second baseman Watkins almost dropped it. Didn't secure the baseball very well, but managed to hang on.
Yeah, that's embarrassing if you do in fact drop it. This is a tough. This could be a tough place. Here in San Francisco, I always thought we're the worst with the wind, the high sky, bright sun.
Time with a swing and a miss. You know, we were talking earlier about that play in the 6th inning when Castillo got credited with a double. And Coghlan came around from first to score. They have finally made a change on that. They've given Marte an error, so it's 3 earned runs for Cole instead of 4. And no RBI for Castillo.
It's a no-brainer.
Ground ball right back to Parker. And the Pirates gone in order in the 8th. 10-4, Bucks lead.
Pirates have thrown 10 1/3 scoreless innings in the last 2+ games, and it's been 7 different guys now if you count John Axford, and that's been a real nice contribution that they've gotten from the Shark Tank. And I asked pitching coach Ray Searage about this and what puts these guys in position to do these types of things in an unusual situation, like yesterday inheriting a game in the 7th inning. And he said it accumulates through the whole year, and they know what their job is at that point in time. He said it doesn't matter when you pitch. He said it's how you pitch. And they're very prepared, and that's the one thing that Ray really enjoys about these guys. Now, he doesn't have to be overly concerned about that. They have the information, they know what they have to do, and most importantly, they know how to execute it. And that was big-time execution yesterday with the conclusion of the suspended game in a tight ball game. Give them a lot of credit.
Yep, it was a busy day, certainly for them.
What's also nice is Clint Hurdle in that first game went to Watson for 2, Melanson for 2. And so you didn't know their availability for game 2 or for today's game, really. And I'm sure Clint Hurdle was hoping that the Pirates can have a big enough lead in both games to where they didn't have to use his 8th and 9th inning guys.
Clint said before the game Watson would not be available today. He said Melanson was a maybe. He said also Justin Wilson, who had 26 pitches last night, was also a maybe. But when you can stay away from those guys, like you say, that's the best thing. Now head into the final leg of this long road trip tomorrow. Justin Wilson's pitched a couple of times in this series already. Lopez follows this one back. How about John Holston with his first major league save yesterday? His second major league appearance ever.
Amazing. Out of nowhere.
We got Jared Hughes, power forward at 6'7", and the center John Holston at 6'9".
Yeah, put some length out there in the basketball court, that's for sure.
One-two pitch coming to Lopez. And he is down on strikes. Axford strikes him out. And gone for the Cubs in the 8th.
You can see it right at the bottom of the zone.
Axford will now face Junior Lake as the shadows creep onto the field here. Shadows covering the home plate circle for the most part. When does it get the toughest with dealing with the shadows, Ron? Well, where does the shadow have to be for it to be difficult?
For me, when the shadow gets beyond the pitcher, it's tough because the pitcher is dark. The ball coming out of his hands dark, and you have a very bright background. That's when it's at its worst. I think when the shadow's right there in front of home plate, where it is now, the hitter should still see the ball okay. It shouldn't affect the hitter that much.
Lake, a big cut and a miss.
Now, if we show this same view, if it, say bottom of the 9th inning, you'll see a different, because you'll be able to see, you can see the ball pretty good right here. Wait, go back to this. At the end, the bottom of the 9th, the shadow should get beyond the pitcher's mound, and you will barely be able to see the ball.
Junior Lake hasn't had a lot of time in this series, a little bit. Through 100 games, he's hit .214 for Chicago. 2-2 from Axford to Lake. Got him. 2 strikeouts for Axford. 96 miles an hour.
No messing around. Just blowing him away.
Oxford's two former teams have completed their game, by the way. Gold stands in. Cardinals have defeated the Brewers. That game is over. 9-1 the final. So the Pirates win here today, puts the Bucks in second place. They'll pass the Brewers. And remain 4.5 out behind St. Louis. Four and a half out with 20 to play.
On the stretch they come.
2-0 pitch to Olt. It's up by 3-0. Olt's had his best day as a Cub in quite some time. 3 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. He struggled with the average. He's had more extra base hits than singles, but today 3 singles. Oxford gets back in the count. It's 3-1. Ball 4. So Olt has been on all 4 times today. 2-out walk issue. Oxford will try to complete the inning. A little warm out there in the bleachers.
The sun. Yesterday a little cooler. Barely reached 70. Today he's supposed to get mid upper 70s.
76 at game time. There in the bleachers or in the sun this time of day. Pitch misses to Watkins. We talk about the problems that shadows can present for hitters, Ron. What about for catchers?
I think the catcher has a problem. Some ballparks is the batter's eye isn't high enough. For us, just squatting, waiting for the fastball. I just think that 97, Axford yanked it, and he just had to reach for it. But in some ballparks, the batter's eye isn't high enough, and you may have a problem picking up the ball, especially a tall guy like Axford. The ball might be coming from above the batter's eye for a catcher. But I don't think these shadows, again, I don't think that's going to cause much of a problem until that shadow gets past the mound.
Down to third. Stopped by Morel. Fires on to first again.
Nicely done.
We are on to the 9th inning in Chicago. Pirates leading it 10-4. Gabby Sanchez due up first. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Buccos with 18 hits. That equals a season high. They also had 18 on the 14th of June against Miami in Miami. Trying to wrap this one up here.
One person deserves a hit here in the top of the ninth inning. That's Brent Morrell. He's due up second. He's been robbed 3 times.
And on the hill, Kyuji Fujikawa. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the laid-back pace of Fujikawa.
He's pretty deliberate.
Yesterday's game was 3 hours and 20 minutes, and he might have taken up an hour of it in one inning. He'll fill in the landing spot right in front of him. He'll go back behind the rubber and step off a number of times. Well, Gabby Sanchez. Be patient against him, maybe. Gabby with a 3-hit day, 2 doubles and a single. And the high leg kick and the pitch. That's inside. Ball 1. Fujikawa coming off of Tommy John surgery. Just 14 months. So he's only had a brief number of appearances in the big leagues this year. Pitch to Sanchez. Ball's outside. Maybe 3 for 4. Hit twice in one inning today. The second. Double and made an out. Chopper to the first base side. Just foul.
Not much. Some of the folks still sticking around, enjoying the sun.
I want to see how the game turns out. Should stay to the end.
Most of them weren't even watching the game. They were just gabbing.
Gabby pops this one up right side, twisting toward the dugout. And it will come back for Mike Old. He'll make the catch.
Good series coming in here. A hot Cubs ball club. They won 6 straight at home.
See over by the dugout. Robbie thinks he's going to catch it. No. Don't hit my laptop.
You know, I'm a pretty good judge of these high fly balls, especially here at Wrigley. You get an idea if they have a chance. But Mike Olt's knees would be bigger than the fence here, so I was there just to protect him in case he fell over.
That was mighty nice of you, yeah. Always thinking of the other person. That's good.
Protecting him from 10 feet away? Really?
Well, he's got long arms, apparently. He's got a big wingspan.
Like a push broom next to you?
It sounded.
He's not even in the front row.
That sounded good, didn't it? I was trying to make it up as I went along. I had no chance of protecting him, none.
Nice try. Morrell fouls this one. You got that one, Robbie?
No, this one's 20 yards deep. I could have got there.
Close enough. With the push broom, you might have been able to reach it.
That's about what that's actually good, Rock, because that's exactly what I would have needed to save him if he would have came over. He would have landed on the empty chair in front of me.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious, right?
1 ball, 2 strikes to Morrell. Morrell stands deep in the shadows of home plate. And there's his hit.
There's no question.
Morrell around first base. And now every position player with a hit in the ball game. And that is a season high 19 hits for the Pirates. The last time they had 19 was June 29, 2012 at St. Louis. So they had to turn a 61 over. They didn't have any 19s here.
He gets on top of a high fastball. I mean, nobody more deserving. I mean, that's 4 hard hit balls. by Brent Morrell.
Travis Snyder will pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. Travis takes a strike. 1 out, top of the ninth. Pirates up 10-4. 2 runs in the first. 5 in the second. John Holscomb is ready in the bullpen. Stanley Pimentel is warming up upstream a while ago. 1 pitch. And Travis swings and misses. Pirates have 4 home runs in the game. Went back-to-back in the second inning. Mercer and McCutchen. Garrett Cole, his first major league home run, came in the 7th inning. First home run for a Pirate pitcher since the 2011 season. Ross Ollendorf hit one against the Dodgers. Remember? 0-2 pitch. It's 1-2. Pirates picked up a single run in the 4th. And 3 hits. 2 more runs in the 7th. And Cole's 2-run homer after Sanchez led the inning off with a double.
I always like 20. 20 is always a good round number. Travis got the 20th hit.
They don't know. He strikes out. Two out for the Pirates in the 9th.
Marte coming up now. He's another guy could have 3 or 4 hits. He's hit the ball on the button every time but once.
He's grounded out twice to Baez at short. Baez made a real nice play on him last time in the 7th. RBI single and a run scored in the 2nd inning and a double in the 3rd for Marte. Pitch outside.
Sticking it out to the end.
Here comes the 1-0 to Marte. Check swing, foul ball into the 2nd deck. 1 ball and 1 strike to start. They're up in the upper part of the upper deck. Not a lot of foul balls get up there. It's because of the angle.
They're either on the roof or in that lower section.
One ball, 1 strike to count on Marte. Fujikawa on the hill. The pitch. And Marte pounds it foul. I think the day's over, Mom. Can we go now?
Beat up by the sun. Hasn't gotten a foul ball all day. The Cubs are losing. Miserable.
2. Marte takes it high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. What did we do before cell phones?
Good question.
Two. Strike 3 call. Marte out on strikes. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Brett Morrell gets the single. Matt Caesar will lead off the bottom of the 9th. One of the pictures from this busy day for the Pirates at Wrigley Field, as they are 3 outs away from sweeping the Cubs. 10-4 the score, bottom of the 9th inning. 9-1-2 due up for Chicago. And they will face 6'9" right-hander John Holtzcomb. Makes his 3rd major league appearance. Had a save yesterday. Matt Caesar at the plate, face Holtzcomb.
5 punch-outs, 2 innings of work.
There's a strike. Well, he's 6'9". You're on a 10-inch mound, and you can throw the ball in the mid-90s.
Yeah. And this shadow, if it does creep past him, it's about impossible.
It's almost there.
It's a little more difficult to see now than it was earlier when the shadow was just over the home plate area. The ball gets dark pretty quick.
And the pitch to Caesar misses inside. There's a walk. Leadoff man is aboard.
Disappear. Where'd it go? That's a big difference to a hitter's eyes.
It's gone. The invisible ball. Pitch to Alcantara is a ball upstairs. Pirates have not swept the Cubs at Wrigley Field in a 3-game series since May of 2000.
It's hard to believe.
The winning pitchers in that series: Todd Ritchie, Jeff Wallace, Jason Schmidt.
It's hard to believe it's been that long.
1-1. That's down. Things hold up. The winning pitchers in this series would be Melanson, Liriano, and Cole. Bears didn't have a good day today. There's a ground ball in right field, shattered back. Caesar around second, heading for third. Alcantara's got his first hit. So 2 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. That was at first and third.
His first big league hit.
The bat blew up in the hands of Arismendi Alcantara. Now the big swing and Javier Baez up. 0 for 3 with a walk today. Struck out twice. He takes a strike on the corner. We have seen him take more today than in the first 2 games of the series, where he was swinging out of his shoes, and he has had an issue where, at least yesterday, twice, looked like he hurt a knee and maybe even an ankle. Swing so hard. That's an example of it right there. I think with a guy who might injure himself on a swing, that the team would perhaps address that at some point in time.
Believe me, it'll get addressed at some point in time. This swing will have to be shortened up.
0-2 to Baez. Side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. John Holtzcomb from Rancho Cucamonga, California. 26 years of age, 6'9" and 240 pounds. Whoa. That's a big swing. No 2-strike approach there from Baez, and he strikes out for the 3rd time today.
Just the big old country fastball. Rear back and fire it. Hit it if you can.
1 out, bottom of the 9th. Holtzcomb will face Chris Coghlan. Big right-hander standing in the sun. Everything else toward the plate in the shade. Strike 1 to Coghlan. Now Holtzcomb originally with the Mets, drafted by the Mets. Made his pro debut in 2006 in the Gulf Coast League. So he has spent some time in Florida on the other coast from the Pirates. On the coast, towards St. Lucie. Strike 2.
Oh, good location there. A little natural cut on that fastball. Comes in again a little bit of movement as we're looking at it right to left.
2 pitch. 2 stops in independent ball this year for Holtzcomb. Can you imagine maybe one of those guys that he pitched against the American Association or the United League tuning into him? I face that guy.
It's amazing.
He's in the big leagues. Pirates have some activity. Mark Melancon getting up.
Just in case.
And a ground ball to short. Mercer flips to Walker, back to first. Double play. The ball game is over, and the Pirates complete the 3-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs. They go to 74 and 68. They pass the Milwaukee Brewers and move into second place in the Central Division standings.
What a big series. After leaving St. Louis, you didn't know which direction this team was going. You had the Cubs that were playing very, very well. They just came out a little sluggish that first game. Had some rain delays. Had to carry it over to yesterday. Ended up pulling that out in 11 and then dominating the second 2 games. These are 3 huge wins. Now you hold your own destiny in terms of the wild card. Ahead of the Brewers and the Braves now. And the Pirates hopefully will march on to Philly and continue their winning ways.
Well, 3 in a row for the Buccos. Take a look at the updated standings. The Brewers in 3rd place now. The Pirates a half game in front of them. 4.5 behind the division leading Cardinals. Let's send you back to Pittsburgh right now in our Root Sports studios. Paul Alexander and Ken Maka are there standing by.